A completely disoriented Donald Trump was visibly confused, and this would be funny if it weren't so terrifying. We would just focus on the double standard with former President Joe Biden if it weren't so horrifying that this is going on. In clip after clip that I'm going to play for you, Donald Trump, the current president of the United States, remember, Biden's out of office. Biden's political career is over. He will never hold political office again. Trump is the president now, and he's completely lost. It's not just that he's lost on policy. It's not just that he's lost on the facts. He's lost on language comprehension. Here is a reporter asking Donald Trump, when might we see the resumption of interviews for foreign student visas, something that the Trump administration has paused? Trump goes on what? French? Something French? What are you talking about? Take a look at this.
When could the administration resume the interviews for foreign students visa? When do you think your administration could resume these interviews?
On what?
For the foreign student visa. Yesterday there was...
for the French visa?
For the French too, but all the foreign students.
Oh, for the foreign visas? What are you referring? Foreign visas for what? Are you talking about for colleges?
College
okay, so you're off of Israel. Now you're talking about colleges, right?
Yes, now.
Okay. Well, we're going to see. Look, Harvard has been a disaster.
Trump seems to have no idea what is going on. This is not a slip-up. This is a guy who is increasingly struggling to process language into his big brain. He hears foreign student visa, I think from a reporter with a French accent, and somehow he lands on the French. And then he spirals into confusion about what a visa even is. If President Joe Biden had given an answer like that, Republicans would be filming 25th Amendment ads. Every right-wing host would be screaming dementia at full volume. But with Trump, I guess it was Wednesday. Another example here, Trump was asked about taco trade. Taco meaning Trump always chickens out. This is something that's been floating around. Trump gets confused, and then he spits out a word salad of no relation to the substance whatsoever. Take a look.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country, and because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now.
And then Trump, always in his old age, going back to the tried and true reactions, Trump has to wrap by attacking the reporter. Don't you ever say that again. Nasty, he says. Take a look.
But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead. To me, that's the nastiest question. Wait a minute. Wait.
This is not merely confusion. This is hostility as a defense mechanism. He has no answer, so he lashes out, and the instinct is always attack the media, attack the reporter. Then the topic of Saudi Arabia and Trump's Middle East trip came out. And once again, Trump claiming with no evidence, he made money and got $5 trillion while he was in the Middle East, and they brought it back. The IQ of a Kleenex. Take a look at this.
This isn't my war. This is Biden's war, Zelensky's war, and Putin's war. This isn't Trump's war. I'm only here for one thing, to see if I can end it, to save 5,000 lives a week and a lot of money. The money being much less important, because I made that money. I went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, and we brought back $5.1 trillion. So I made that money in about 2 hours, the money that we're talking about, but it's still think of it, $300 billion we've spent with no checks, no balances. They just send cash.
Now, as usual, he just doesn't understand how this works. He just doesn't understand how it works. This entire thing about I got 5 million, these are soft, general, hypothetical, potential commitments of investment from these countries. It's funny, when it came to the tariffs, Trump would say, we gave China $1 trillion and we lost the trillion. As I explained to you, we gave China $1 trillion, China gave us $1 trillion worth of stuff. Trump ignoring that then. Here, Trump goes, oh, Saudi Arabia and Qatar and UAE, they're just giving us money. But what Trump's ignoring is that these would be investments exchanged for goods or services of equivalent value. Here, he doesn't say that. And as I've explained to you a bunch of times now, these are commitments hypothetically over a decade that you need to actually get the projects going for the money to materialize. We got nothing from those Middle Eastern countries during Trump's trip. And then finally, once again, Trump with the 2-week stuff. 2 weeks. It's always 2 weeks away, no matter what it is. Take a look at this.
Mr. President, on Russia. Mr. President, on Russia.
Mr. President.
On Russia, Mr. President.
Please.
Do you believe the Russians are being disrespectful when they say that your criticisms of Putin are simply an emotional response? And do you still believe that Putin actually wants to end the war?
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we're going to find out very soon. We're going to find out whether or not he's tapping us along or not. And if he is, we'll respond a little bit differently. But it'll take about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We have Mr. Witkoff is here, who's doing a phenomenal job, is dealing with them very strongly right now. They seem to want to do something, but until the document is signed, I can't tell you. Nobody can. I can say this. I can say this, that I'm very disappointed at what happened a couple of nights now where people were killed in the middle of what you would call a negotiation. I'm very disappointed by that. Very, very disappointed. Yeah, please.
So listen, that's Trump's version of a loading screen. When he has no answer, when he doesn't know, he just says, we're 2 weeks from that. He can't answer basic questions. He doesn't know what's happening. He lies with no hesitation, and he attacks anybody who points it out. And he's the one who's actually in power, supposedly, at this point in time. I don't know what's more terrifying, that Trump is the one in power, or that he's not really in power, and that it's J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller and whoever else actually controlling things behind the scene. I don't know which is true, and I also don't know which is scarier. All right, awesome new sponsor to talk about, Wild Alaskan Company. They do sustainable seafood memberships. I got one of these boxes, and it is just phenomenal. The whole point with Wild Alaskan Seafood is that it's 100% wild caught. It's never farmed. It's from sustainably managed fisheries in Alaska, frozen at the peak of freshness, and then delivered to you. They've got 3 curated boxes, the wild salmon box, the wild whitefish box, and the wild combo box. I got a box that had everything beautifully vacuum sealed. The fish comes in pre-portioned fillets. We had crab. We had scallops. I know I should be saying scallops. It's just not for me. I call them scallops, okay? Delicious and sustainable. They have a sustainable supply-driven approach. They get products during the harvest season in a way that doesn't deplete the resources of Alaska's wild fisheries. I encourage you to go to wildalaskan.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for $35 off your first box. The link is in the description.